An island has its own rhythm, got its own space. It's a protected, peaceful vibe, and you can step into it, and you are officially on island time. So I'd like to welcome you to our little fasting island today. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, settle in. That stretch of water that is separating the mainland from the island. Just kind of walling things off. It's like a moat. Today we are treating fasting exactly like this island. I was on vacation earlier this summer, made it up to Door County. This island, Cana Island, you can see the beautiful lighthouse on the side, and I was able to do a little filming of that. So Cana Island, today we say it's fasting island. We're going to head out there, protect our space, thinking about creating a space where health and wholeness can flourish, where the metabolism, we're protecting that space from the metabolism where it can rest and reset. Fasting, I say it's a great way to protect the body. Can think it from that way. What are the big dangers that the body is facing in society today, in our metabolism? The processed food, the simple refined sugars and carbohydrates is damaging to the body. It's hard on the body. To say hard to resist those things when they're designed to be so appealing to us. Say we need a space where we can get out there, wall it off, protected. And then an island, it's not just walling off, okay, the consumption culture. So many things. Have you been on an island? Have you taken a vacation on an island? You say, man, I'm just in my own place here. We can let some of the cares kind of slip away. This is the type of fasting space that we want. If we're going to practice fasting, we want to do it in the most gentle and thoughtful way. Fasting can be an intense process. That's why I say we approach it in a very thoughtful, calm, gentle way. Bring just the amount of it into our life that is making things better. Making things thoughtful. That way we can move toward health in thoughtful, calm, and gentle fashion. How are you doing with it? How are you doing this summer? We went through a 30-day summer lean-in challenge. What was that process like for you? Do you feel like you're on a good track? Have you been dialing in? Personally, I've been seriously dialing in, and I am loving it. Our own personal fasting island. That's what I really like to think of it. I was sharing that quote from Marcus Aurelius the other day. That it's like, I mean, this guy's got a mountain, a place in the mountains, a place by the ocean. And he says, hey, really where I want to go, retreat into, to paraphrase, something like the comfort of my own mind is much better to find peace and contentment in this space than anywhere else. Nothing else to do. And so we want to find a mental space like this here and bring that in with our fasting space. Maybe you're visualizing an island like this. Take a deep breath, feel the breeze, listen to the waves. If you can see it here, there's a little tractor heading just on the left side of the island. There's a little causeway, it's about a foot deep. Sometimes you'll see people wading through the water, and then this island has a little tractor that will ferry people over. If you want to get to it, they got a little visitor center, and then you can climb up the lighthouse and look out over Lake Michigan. So this is interesting. Think of roads, think of cars driving everywhere, of the busyness of life as that tractor's pulling in there. And think of island time here, right? Think of cars as like constant consumption, and then think of the island, the tractor. What if it just came once a day? This is like an OMAD sort of space. Tractor come, bring some people over. Tractor head back, drag some people back. Like all of a sudden we give an analogy from this. We're on the mainland. It's like we can always head to the fridge. The snacks are there. The commercials are on. We're over on the island. It's like cut off. It's like maybe things come once a day, right? That's a fasting space. Or maybe it comes twice a day, right? If we think, okay, some things coming. What if there was just a highway built all the way to the island and is like and in a big circle, and always cars are driving around to look? Okay, it wouldn't be a very peaceful island, you know what I mean? So in our sort of space, this is kind of what it can be like for the metabolism. Fasting island body is like, oh, we get that. Look, everything, space is cleared out here. We got some protection. Let the body deal with the energy it already has. See, the island's got enough energy for a while, not forever, right? If we were living out on a little house, the lighthouse had a, in the mid-1800s had like a light keeper or something, a little house next to it, and they would get up every day and light the flame in the lighthouse, and they lived there. I don't know, 6 to 8 month shifts they would do, I think, and then someone would come and swap them out. All right, but what is the pattern that is working in our life to bring this? How many times does that tractor need to go to our island, our metaphorical fasting island? Some people, it's coming 8, 9, 10 times a day, right? Always energy is coming in. Think of the island if it only was just bringing stuff in faster than it was needed, right? Island would fill up, right? It'd be like the weight gaining process, right? So as a weight loss space, we're trying to create a very thoughtful, calm space that can bring things into balance. Say, how do we park the tractor for a while? Don't need to carry anything else into this space. Maybe once or twice a day. It can be 3, it can be 4, whatever you need. There's no rules. But this sort of space, it can just help us to start being mindful. What is the right number, and how is it working for me? Personal decision, people. How many times in a day does somebody eat? Somebody sleeps in. It's 10:30, they get up, they're like, oh, I think I'll just have brunch today, Make an omelet. Beautiful low-carb creation, a couple eggs, maybe some mushrooms, maybe some peppers and onions. Maybe some slices of avocado on top. Oh, man. But they weren't trying to eat in any special fashion. It's just they felt like doing it that day. And then they went and had dinner. They ate twice in a day. They opened up some more fasting space. That's kind of the start. Eat 2 healthy meals in a day. And as a routine, say tractor came once, tractor came twice to the island, and then the rest of the time it's floating off. Doing its own thing. Island time. See, island time, have you experienced that? Places, people don't have so many clocks. People just, life is happening on kind of a little more casual sort of thing. This is the sort of idea that I really have for fasting space. Not like we're on an app. Okay, I think there can be value. You get a fasting app, a fasting tracker. I've messed around even coding my own one. And then I'm like, I don't know if I want to just be linking people up to more and more apps, everything ticking and alarms and things. It's like fasting to me is a flow state. Fasting is getting away from all of that. Fasting as a way of being, just exist in the world for a while, float through some space and some time and realize, just like the island, we got everything that we need here. Everything is okay. Going about and living our day. And then that fasting idea, you don't have to be sitting in a fasting space being like, oh, I'm fasting, oh, I'm fasting. It's like top of mind all the time. Just let that settle down. Just like all the thoughts. Have you ever sat on an island on a hammock looking out over the water and then just let the cares of the world drift away? This is where we really start merging that fasting space, the meditation space, bringing peace to the mind, help to bring peace to the body, bring everything into balance. I did a little short. I posted it yesterday. Weight loss vacation. Take a weight loss vacation. I chopped up that thought from our session last week, which I totally loved. But man, a weight loss vacation, it could look a couple different ways. So nice to have you with us here today. Late to the party, I thought about on the island, I just mixed in some of the audio, little waves, you hear some of the seagulls going. I thought about, we could put on some beachy tunes as like a beach party, but hey, that is right for the right day, but like really the main vibe I want. Settle everything down. Isn't it enough? Listen to the waves and the wind and the birds, and get ourselves in a really calm, centered sort of thought. If I'm sitting by the lake, personally, at this point in my life, I think, when I was 20, I would have wanted a boom box, and I would have wanted to crank up the island tunes and all of that. But increasingly, and this was me, I'm sitting here when I filmed this, just behind the camera, just sitting there, doing the same thing. Listen to the waves. I sat here. This is like a loop for like 20 minutes. And, that's kind of one of my favorite things to do, actually. Just sit and watch the water. Same sort of thing here. Here, if you were with me back in the winter, I took my camera out on this frozen lake where we were staying way up in northern Wisconsin, sat in the frozen lake, found this little kind of cove sheltered from the wind, and an eagle was flying around and it's snow covered and it was beautiful. And I say, where else in the world would I rather be? But even to sit in a space like that is so beautiful. For me, it takes 10, 15 minutes. You got to settle into a space. And I kept having thoughts like, I should at least be walking. I can't sit here and just look at the forest. I should be walking through it, And walking, I always say, the world's healthiest activity. And we've had some great talking here, summer weight loss, about like open up some fasting space and bring in some gentle movement if you are up for it, because then we're really getting the energy flowing out. And that's great for a lot of times, but sometimes the right answer is you got to say no to good things in order to make room for better things. And sometimes it's say no for walking a little bit, a very good thing, but say no to it just to really be able to sit and connect in a space. So here was a space like that for me. Sit here out by a beautiful island. No music, no distractions. Okay, it's like it takes a little bit, settle in. And then you settle into it, and then it starts to flow. 10, 15 minutes in, then you can really settle into the body, settle into the mind. And then in the fasting space, this is what we want. I assume anybody who's practicing fasting, you've experienced it. You hit this space where like the idea comes in the mind, body's thinking, are we eating? It seems like we might be eating soon. And it's like you kind of wrestle with it a little bit. That's just like, I don't think I can just sit here quite on the beach. I think we got to at least take a walk. We got to do something to distract. Take a deep breath. Body gets the message. Body gets the message. I know what we're doing here. We are escaping. This is my big attempt at making a title that'll connect with people. Escape to Fasting Island. Okay, but I really mean it, escape as in like, oh, we got a lot of stress. We got a lot of things we're trying to let go of and leave behind. Letting go sometimes, it's both real and metaphorical. If you're in a weight loss space, you see, I'm connecting here, fasting space. We're trying to lose weight. That's like, as it really is, it's like letting go of a part of ourselves, It's like there's energy in ourselves. Body has taken it in. It's made it a part of ourselves. Did that session the other day make fasting a part of you? Just like we can make food a part of us, I think we can make fasting a part of us. Take a very thoughtful, protected space to do it. Help create it for ourselves. If we can go to an actual island, take a vacation like the little short, click on the shorts tab here after the live and go watch my little short about a fasting vacation. Maybe you take a real active vacation, go hike through some mountains, say bring some fasting space in. Maybe you just find a place on the beach, somewhere by the water, maybe on an island. Let fasting do the work. If you don't have to take a big active vacation to have a fasting vacation, just grab a coffee on the beach. If you've got a fasting type of routine that is working for you, that you're building in your regular life, like bring it to the island, Bring it on vacation and make vacation better. So many ways that it can make it better. Less meals is like less to do, more relaxing, less bills, less cost. I always say, instead of having like the 3, if you're eating out, on vacations, why do 3 meals out and just take all the money and find the very best place, and really go for it, and then you're having incredible food experience and probably less total food. Save money, or at least balance it out, Then we get lots of win-win-wins. Incredible food experiences, incredible fasting experiences. Have fun, save money, and come back from vacation feeling better. That's what I want. Use the vacation as a tool for total refreshing. Sometimes I see people go on a vacation, they head to an all-inclusive resort island. That might not be the best fasting island. Buffets of food everywhere are going to make it harder, But I see people spend huge money and go on exotic vacations and all kinds of things, but they're food-focused so much that it makes it very hard for people to get out of the vacation groove and back in, and then people gain weight on a vacation. I say bring these concepts on vacation and make your vacation better, and then be very intentional and thoughtful about the food experiences, just like this island. Tractor comes once, tractor comes twice, bringing the people across the causeway. Great concept to bring onto a vacation. It's good in the summer. It's good any time of the year. Hey, here comes the tractor again. You can see it. I've got this on a loop for like 15 minutes or whatever. So now the tractor's coming back, bringing in its next load. Whenever you're watching this, think about the seasons. We can derive a lot of insight from the seasons. We can really lean into a winter space, the fall, the spring. Everything has its beauty and its different perspective. Here in the summer, though, I say we are in prime weight loss season. And so just to bring these concepts to us again, it's warmer, And has it been your experience? I have been looking through some different research. People in general, it's easier to eat less. As the temperature rises, there's some natural appetite suppression that happens that maybe we don't experience so much when it is cold. And the sun is out and shining, and so it makes it easier to get out and be active. Has that been your experience these days? in the summer? Are you getting more active than you might have been in the winter? So here is a space, and these things are synergistic. They build on each other. So when you're active in doing things, it's like you're walking away from the fridge, you're out of the house. So many of the distractions and things that might be tempting us, it's like we're getting a little more space from them, and then the mind is occupied doing something else. So we don't have to draw down that bank account so much, our mental capital. If we are, like, the worst place to practice fasting, probably, like, what if you just set up a chair in the kitchen and were staring at the fridge, right? And you had to sit there all day. It's like some sort of experiment that people are running. Who would make it? I probably wouldn't. But get out on a beautiful island, hit the path, take a walk. Look at the clouds and the space. Okay, it's just easier to be outside. Especially if you're in the north, you're somewhere it's like snowing and cold, you're kind of trapped inside. It's like we're getting closer to the experiment. It's harder to get out. We're trapped, and then in the winter, it's like all the goodies are around, and the neighbors brought over their cookies and all the stuff. And so we're like trapped in a little box with tasty treats for months. And you say, why do people gain weight? Is it a mystery? Okay, but look, we're in the total opposite scenario. Total opposite space. We can get out. We can take a walk. We can help the energy to flow out. Help the energy to flow out. This is about the balance that we're trying to create, or maybe we're intentionally trying to create some lack of balance, It's like, balance the other way. Stop the flow coming in, increase the flow coming out. Body's like an engine. It's always running, always takes energy to run it. And when we stop that intake coming in, okay, body doesn't stop. Body's this incredible dual fuel system. It can run off food when it's there, and then when it stops, it should be seamless. The physiology of the body, it should be seamless. When we don't train it, that's when we feel, that shift, where it's like, oh, gotta shift through. Hey, thank you. Talking about suggestions for cravings, this is like huge space we can just sink into. It's like the ground balls, like the simple things, right, is like this sort of thing to start, right? Coffee, tea, water, sparkling water, maybe a little lemon or lime in it, I think is fine. Maybe a pinch of salt on a day if that's like feels good. Sometimes you can, a salt is hitting some extra craving center. So, and sometimes it's not, sometimes you don't need it. But sometimes a little bit of salt hitting the right sensor, sometimes just water. Oftentimes, like if you're a coffee lover, I call coffee contentment in a cup. Part of that is the caffeine. Caffeine, natural little appetite suppressant. And so I think that's part of what's happening with coffee or tea. It's warm, it's comforting, it's like a liquid sort of comfort food. You can hold it, it's a very tactile experience, and then you feel it. And so many times a craving, has this been your experience? Craving is usually hormonal. That feeling is triggered by a hormone called Ghrelin, is the hunger hormone, and that has a half-life just like any other sort of hormone, and so that will peak and it will crest and that will go away. Have you experienced that? You had a hunger experience and then it reaches that crescendo and then it will diminish. Sometimes just remembering that, like in the moment, like, have you had the experience where you get irritated or angry at someone and then you might lash out at them, like, and it's like, why did I do that? Like, I was not thinking, right? It's like, I did not want to do that. You have to apologize. Like, hey, I did not want to do that. So think about, like, you get that experience. There's a thing where an emotional and hormonal, like between adrenaline, right? It's like something triggered us right into that intense mental center, bypassing some of the rational logic circuits, right? We can see how anger can put us in a space like that. then you flow back out of it. You're like, oh, it peaked up, we got upset, and then that situation passed, we kind of flipped back into our regular logical thinking, and then we get out of it, right? So think about the mirror with hunger, right? Is doing the same thing. A hormone is coming into our body, is like pushing us into a different bit of a mental operating space. Really, where just like we say, oh, we want to lash out. Oh, we just want to eat something, right? As the hormones telling us. Like, we like to think of ourselves as always 100% completely rational, objective creatures. But it's like, we got a lot going on. We say, oh, we can get pushed into a different mental space. Chemicals in the body controlling how we feel. Big sort of thing. So craving hits, being aware of it. We spend a lot of time in that book, Thinking Fast and Slow, bringing awareness to these things, helping to just create enough space where we can get in the middle of that, keep the logic circuits running so we can intervene, bring the thoughts. So it's recognizing, okay, we've got mental capital. Willpower is like, it's limited but real, and we want to use it in the most judicious fashion that we can. Get into that space and say, okay, so a craving, now we can see it, comes in a wave. Look at these waves coming by here. Come, and then it's gone. And you say, oh, Dr. Z, then more comes. Okay, but live in the present. Let's just deal with one wave at a time. So has it been your experience, the physiology, most of the time this experience can last between 10 and 20 minutes. Like, in that moment, right in that moment, the feeling is like, this is only ever going to get more intense forever and ever. And like, we have to intervene because I can't handle it anymore. Usually that type of thought is actually at the peak of the experience of a craving. It's like it has built to the point where it's like, I can't take it anymore. That's usually the top of the wave. And you got to like make it through that space and it will come back down. And so hydration is a big one. Like, a lot of our hunger experience is actually thirst. So staying hydrated can blunt that effect. Using some sort of calorie-free, ideally artificial sweetener-free beverage at that point to get through it is really good. And then breathing is a really good way to get through it. I feel like we did a session on that somewhere. Of course, bringing all of our tools together is highly advised too. So stay hydrated and practice breathing and go for a walk in the middle of it. Like, if you're feeling that coming on, you say, oh man, it's coming. Maybe that's the clue to get out of the house. It's like danger zone, or we're going to have some trouble here. Let's like get 10 minutes out on a walk. So, and then you're going to flow through it. And then you're making the decision ahead of time. And then by the time you're going to get back, the wave has crested and come back. And you'll be like, okay, we made it, you know? Okay, we made it. Think about the most difficult experiences in life, okay? Things that are coming to my mind. I watched an interview, I think it was like with Aaron Rodgers or something like this, NFL quarterback, is like, how do you step out on a field with like 100,000 people looking at you, and you're on TV for millions of people are watching. Everything is being recorded and scrutinized for all of history. It's like people practice, you know, going into intense situations. Like, breathing is like the cornerstone of how you make it through it. And you think of human experiences dealing with an injury, going through labor, like some really intense sort of thing. How do you make it through it? You breathe through it. It's like centering, practice, bring the stress level down. So, okay, all these really intense things, okay, really difficult. Take very, very powerful practice. A single breath, bring it into our life, can help us with a craving experience. Absolutely. It's a model. I'll tell you, practicing that, practicing fasting as a way to move through a difficult experience, hunger like that, is a model that we can bring to so many other places in our life. I was showing this experience flowing through anger. Like, if you struggle with that, like if you like, saying you're irritated by someone or something. How do you stop that cycle? Okay, leaning into the breath there is another way where we can say, oh, I've practiced this with fasting. Understand there's some amount of intensity. There's some amount of hormonal process happening. How do we bring all of these things into balance so that we can flow through some of these difficult situations in a calm, peaceful, thoughtful way? Bring island vibe to everything. Even the stressful situations, even work and the spots where we have conflict and struggle. Fasting, a personal practice, is like we're working through our own internal struggle to do it, right? Bring things into balance here. Sometimes I know you say, I'm not so happy with the way the world is, and there are so many things you say we wish it can change, but how much philosophy and perspective tells us, so just change this first, you know? Change the self. This is what we can control. Don't you wish? I know I do. I wish I could control everybody else and every other thing. And then, right? Tiny little mortal being here is enough. You say it's very hard to even control ourselves when we think about it, isn't it? And so that's a very grounding and humbling place to be. Say, yes, it probably is enough just to work on controlling myself. And yeah, that is a trick and a half. So fasting, though, I think is one of, a big practice. Maybe you could call it a discipline if you're not taking that word too harshly. But it's like a routine. It's something that you work on. It is something that is a challenge. And of course, a challenge, something very good. We need a challenge, in life. We need something to strive for and work after. And then here, though, taking that sort of mindset, bringing it into this totally peaceful vibe that we're trying to do, say island time, vacation time, stress-reducing time. I really like that balance, because here we're talking about as a practice of something that can bring health to life. How do I bring everything into my life into balance? Isn't this kind of what a vacation is like? Isn't it? If we're trying to escape something, some amount of stress. Get out of the patterns that we are normally in. I think a big thing, go to island time is like, really the time is the same, right? But we create this mental construct of island time because there's all these metaphors around it. We've really metaphorically, physically, in some combo way, kind of cut ourselves off from this. We're using it as a construct to try to decompress a little bit. Fasting is like the same part of it. And so we're just dealing with a part of it where we say, oh, is it a bit challenging? Certainly can be two sides to almost everything. So we look at the things, we're talking about the question, food cravings, how do we deal with it? That's one side of it. It's like the other side of the craving is the flow, usually, because you flow through a craving, a food craving. They usually are not like these waves. It's usually, it happens and then it's gone for a good while. At least hours. It's usually hours. And then that is the place where you can really flow through it. The last note, I talked, yes, just summer things to refresh. We talked about the temperature, the activity, the food environment. Food environment, so key. How are you doing on creating a food environment for yourself this summer? Think of food environment in the winter, so many baked goods and all this sort of stuff. Here in the summer, do you like to grill out? Do you cook like a meat and a veggie or something like this? A protein veggie doesn't have to be meat, but man, that is a combo. Skip the rolls, skip the rice, skip all the piles of white rice, right? Just have extra veggies, If you go protein, veggie, and pair that with some fasting, that is such a powerful weight loss combo. Try to nix the desserts and the treats. I say fruit is nature's candy. If you gotta have a dessert, how about some strawberries? Skip the strawberry shortcake. Like, maybe have it once in a summer if it's your special thing. Like, I'm never saying anybody can't have anything they want. But as a routine thing, don't need dessert routine, okay? If you do, say make it some berries, and really just appreciate a berry, for what it is. Think of like the history of people. It's like, oh, if you are in the woods and you find some berries and something bright, is like, this would be nature's candy. This is the sort of thing. No candy factory out in the woods. You got some honey if you're lucky sometimes. You got some berries. And so that is the sort of thing. The food context that we can create, though, in the summer, really lean into it. And then, we're trying to create the balance between all four of the main things that I love to talk about. Bringing a fasting element into our life in the amount that it helps us, creating a food environment. Low carb, low processed food, right? Keep the insulin low. That's another thing that is going to super help the cravings, right? So much of the time our cravings is because we're stuck in this sugar and insulin cycles, and where our blood sugar isn't actually stable, even if we have not been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, any sort of blood sugar problem. Listen, if we are in a space, or say we're trying to lose weight, a weight gain process, pretty much anybody who's experiencing that is already having insulin resistance, and that is leading to blood sugar to being less than ideally stable. And as the blood sugar is heading low, then that shouldn't be happening, but the body can be impaired in its ability to respond to it, and that starts sending off warning signals in the body, cortisol and adrenaline and stress signals, and it's communicating to the body, energy level is heading down, need to eat something. Now, anybody with any sort of blood sugar issue, just like anybody approaching fasting, of course, talk with your medical team about the situation. But in the normal physiology of the body, somebody who does not have insulin resistance, your body has incredible resources to keep your blood sugar from crashing too low. The process of repairing that process is okay, but things aren't ideal. Body is impaired. There is insulin resistance here. People get diagnosed with insulin resistance and they think that it is a permanent process. But it is not a permanent process necessarily, because a fasting space is basically the antidote to that. If you open up some fasting space, you give the body the opportunity, okay, blood sugar is coming down, but body is like, well, what do we do with it? Look, the insulin, all these hormones. It's like, but look at this. We open up some space. Now we have an opportunity to unwind the cycle. Cycle got hit because too many trips on the tractor to the island, like we're seeing there, right? But now we slow the tractor down. Now we give the body the space. It's like, I like to describe it, and this is a metaphor. It's not exactly like it. But it's like you get callus on your hands. Say, I've been doing a lot of work out in the country, moving the goats around, and I got these big calluses on my hands. But what if I stopped doing all the work and I wore gloves around all the time? By 3 weeks from now, right, these would be peeling off. The soft hand would be back, right? Think of the surface of the cell. Think of the insulin hitting it all the time. Think of insulin resistance like a big callus. All of a sudden, we create an environment. We escaped to our fasting island. All of a sudden, insulin level has dropped. We don't need it, right? Insulin is put out in order to do some work in the body, take care of extra sugar that the body doesn't need. And cell finally getting loaded up, so much insulin hitting it's building up a callus, metaphorically. Really, it's more interesting. What's really happening is more interesting. But this is the easiest way to think of it. Pretty accurate, as a metaphor. Create some fasting space. Let the insulin level drop. The insulin resistance will come down. We can dive into scientific papers that show that, but you can just basically know it from first principles. This is what happens to things. Okay. Really think that is one of the most profound medical concepts that we are that we should be talking about in our society, the ability of some food-free space to reduce and reverse insulin resistance. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. To me, just looking at here and saying that, I look out, I see the lighthouse, and I just think about the purpose of a lighthouse, right? Like shining light out into the darkness. To me, this is what fasting feels like. Fasting has been a human practice, people voluntarily choosing to refrain from eating for thousands of years. You read the writings of Hippocrates, early physician, that fasting an incredible tool for bringing health and healing to the body. So this is something that's been recognized by human beings for thousands of years. To me, this is totally incredible. I take a vacation and just sit and think about it. And sit and look at a lighthouse and think like, lighthouse is showing the way. We are like, lighthouse very helpful. Someone who is lost, the ship doesn't know where they are. They don't know where the dangerous rocks are, like all these sort of things. We're sitting in a space. Consumption culture, I don't know, has there ever been a culture of consumption like this on such a massive scale across not just food, but like everything? Plastic appliances and cars and just everything, right? Fasting showing us a pattern. It's like, remember this, like look at what people have done. People have found great value from retreating off to the island, saying no to some good things. Say, isn't it great that we can consume all these things? We have such abundance. Yes, it's a total miracle, and I recognize that. Do you want to be alive at any other point in human history? Probably not. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe. Tough question. But here we are, right? Here we are in this moment. You say, what do we do? I love that session we did, looking to the light, wasn't it? Something like that. Here's the lighthouse. To me, in a metabolic storm, right? We have metabolic storm. Difficulty. We see here, we can talk about a craving and say a craving is difficult, okay? And that's fine. But then everything is difficult. We did the talk the other day. It was like choosing our hard, It's like everything comes with its own set of challenges. That's it. And so voluntarily accepting a challenge that fasting offers, to me, this is the cycle of confronting fear. How many things in life are on the other side? We fear things and we build things up into be a challenge and a thing that is much greater than it is many times. And so what is that quote that is like nothing to fear but fear itself, right? We got to get over our fears of things. Part of the way that we get over fear is through acceptance. Come to accept the reality, the truth of what things are happening in the body and why and how. We see by accepting a challenge of fasting, not fearing it, always in the medically appropriate context, right? So we know things are safe here. This is actually how we start to find the flow with it. So make it a part of yourself. To me, that's what the lighthouse is symbolizing today. It's just showing people been doing this for thousands of years across cultures around the entire planet. I think this is how it found its way into world religions as like a practice. And you look at different world religions, different spiritual traditions. I mean, pretty much all of them have some element of fasting for some special holiday, some sort of practice. I just think cultures throughout time have recognized there's great value in this space. It's been like enshrined or memorialized into deep human tradition. And to me, from a medical, scientific standpoint, I think that's something we should pay attention to. Like, isn't it interesting? There's not that many things like that, right? Where you say cultures throughout history have found enough value that they've put it into their deep cultural traditions. Say, we should pay a little attention to that. Something to contemplate as we're sitting on the hammock on island time. listening to the peaceful waves and the birds. So I grabbed a coffee yesterday. I was sitting out on my porch in the city, listening to the birds, and a hummingbird flew up to me, but like really close, like closer than I've ever seen. It was probably like 18 inches away, and it just came like right in. And you know how fast they are, right? They're just zoom, 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 zoom. Hummingbird flew in 18 inches right in front of me, for half a second, and then it glitched over to its other spot, half a second, and it like made eye contact with me. I was like looking right in at the hummingbird, and then boom, and it was off on the other side of the street, But I was like, oh, it was like here, boom, boom, and then going, and I was just thinking in that moment, I was like, well, this is cool. And this is not going to last. Like, this is just cool. It's just a moment, I was really thinking yesterday, like, did the whole thing take place in less than a second? Like, the whole experience of the hummingbird, was it less than a second? How much difference would it have made how long it was? That's what I was thinking. What if it was 3 seconds instead of 1? Would it have really have mattered? I can see it, I saw it. I had that moment. And so this is something that I was just thinking yesterday. Like our whole life really is just like a moment. Like, I don't know, however long it is. We're here in a space. Maybe some people, it wouldn't be like this. For me, a vacation, when I go to an island, I go to a space, I don't know, I start thinking thoughts like this. What is life, and how much time do we have, and how are we using it? And I usually find a space like that to be actually the most energizing and encouraging. I come back from vacation after some thoughts of really being able to think like when we're creating space from all the stress and the thoughts, it can give us a space to dial in and think about things that are truly important in life, things that are truly beautiful, like a single moment with a hummingbird. And if that is beautiful, how about a single moment with a family member or friend? And all the stress of life, we see, we just kind of try to put it in its place for a while. Sometimes we can get so wrapped up with the stress of the world and the stress of our responsibilities and work and all the things that we can really lose sight of the beautiful moments, the incredible opportunity that we have here in this life to be in this space and to show love and kindness and patience and grace. And fasting space, to me, very merged into that because, here, we're just straddling this line, mind and body and spirit, and island time, island space, giving us an incredible metaphor for some of that, leaving the stress of the world behind. Fasting space, we can see as a very physical part of that in the body, creating that space around. So it's like, just the body is here. What are the things that are really important in the body? Fasting space, from my point of view, really important in the right need for it. Of course, like we said in the session the other day, not really important to someone who is underweight or malnourished or having trouble. But if you're on the other end of the equation, if you're struggling with blood sugar and weight, like the body is basically saying, like, we need some space. And we need space in our life. So this will be my encouragement for you. Starting our week, let's try to find some space in our week. Space in the body, however we can find it. Space in the mind and our spirit, however it works in the midst of all of our responsibilities. Even if we have to say no to some good things in order to find it. just feeling super good to me. Just take a moment, you know. I sit here, I'm looking at the timer. I've been talking for like 50 minutes. Like, and then just stop and just listen to the waves. You know, it's feeling good to me. Leave it a little open. Leave some openness. Leave some space for the breath. Think of the space of the wind blowing through. And just take a moment. Let some of that breath flow into our life right now. Breathe in the openness and then breathe out any of the stress, any of the tension. Like, don't you wish you could be on an island right now? Maybe you are somewhere, somehow. Yeah, I wish I was, but like here, I'm going to just take that mindset. I'm going to see that. I'm going to bring it into my mind. We can choose to bring that island vibe into our life, even if we've got lots to do, just to take a centering moment. Hey, welcome. So nice to have you here. Good morning. Yes, a new week. Start off some fasting space. Start off some great health practices. You know, if you have a mindset, of course, you can do all the health practices. If you, but you can bring it down. You say, oh, one is enough. Say, this week I'm going to be leaning into some fasting. Or if that's not my week, maybe I'm really leaning into some movement. Maybe we're taking a week leaning into like really some healthy food prep, you know, all these things. Taking the week and say, hey, I'm going to really, with whatever time I have, I'm going to carve out some space for myself. Accept the challenge of spending some time with myself, recognizing, okay, to take 10 minutes is like, oh, we're going to go through a space. We're going to say, am I going to really just sit here? Like, oh, but then we'll, just like a hunger wave can kind of peak and then we can flow through it, just like a meditation wave, a little bit of anxiety, of all the pressure to check the phone, do something, anything else other than just have to sit here with my own thoughts, but then we see them come and go. To commit to doing that and realizing that those two things, to be able to sit with ourselves in a space and to complete a fasting, to make through a hunger craving, these are very, very similar experiences. And so we can gain strength in one by practicing the other. Maybe we can bring little elements of all these things into our life, and maybe the practice week by week as we go through it is the practice of learning how to foster and develop all of these four things, because they are together, they are very synergistic. They feed on each other. They support each other. Incredible processes that help us move forward in health. Really beautiful to share this space with you today. I hope you enjoy this island. I hope you enjoy the thinking. Come back to it anytime you need a a little refresh. Say, head back to Island. Fasting Island. Help to bring that metaphor into your life and dial in on the thinking, giving ourselves some space and walling ourselves off from the stress a little bit. Some really dedicated, thoughtful space. Focus on the needs of the body, about giving that gift to the body. Hope you have a beautiful day. I'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. Be well, everybody.